Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition with yours truly, your favorite college for free coach. And we are coming back for another edition talking about, hey, one of the many exciting topics that's out there in the world today, student loan debt forgiveness by the Biden-Harris administration. So there are some updates I want to make sure I cover and bring to you. And I want to remind you, if you missed the previous videos, check them out, because there were some tips, there were some tasks given to you to help you prepare and get in position to take advantage of this opportunity. Some things we will recap in this video, and um I'll also make sure I share the links. Now, the links and some of the resources, I'm actually going to share them inside the Going to College for Free group. So if you're not part of that group, you want to join that exclusive group on Facebook. So basically, Facebook, look up Going to College for Free and click join group, and you'll be able to access all the resources and links shared there. So before we get started, there are about 43 million people impacted by student loan debt. So that means if you're not one of them, you know probably at least 5 people who are. So go ahead, take the time to share, invite others to join this live broadcast right now. And if you're watching the replay, watch it. Type replay in the comment section. And hey, let's get busy. As always, we're going to drop nuggets. You're going to walk away with action steps. So get yourself something to write with, because we always approach this from the lens of giving you actionable steps you can take action on right now, as well as in the future. Sitting and listening to the information and not doing anything with it is not beneficial to anybody. So go ahead, get something to write with, or get your device and take your electronic notes, because we are about to get started and we're going to be rolling and moving forward. So for those of you who don't know who I am, although I know my name is below, Tameka Williamson, I am known as the College Prep Boss. And what I've had the opportunity to do for many years is work with families to educate them on how to navigate the game of college admissions so that they can send their kids to college for free with zero to very little student loan debt. Because of our results driven program, we've been able to help families curate over $75 million in scholarships and bring that college dream to life for their families. We would love to do the same thing for you. But today we're focusing on the student loan forgiveness, because many of us are part of the 43 million families with student loan debt. And if you've been following me for a long time, hey, Dr. Tawana, it is so great to have you here. Yay. If you've been following me and the College for Free platform movement for a long time, you've heard me talk about the student loan debt crisis, why it's so important to understand how the game is played so that you can play to win. Because the way the game is currently set up, the way our educational system, unfortunately, is set up, it is designed for you to lose and be in bondage, i.e., student loan debt, for the rest of your lives, which is why we have this crisis, which is why student loan forgiveness, it's a good thing. It's going to help, but it's a band-aid. And we're not going to get into all that, because that's a whole nother series of conversation that needs to take place. So what we're going to do is focus on the options that exist and look at how to maximize them and use them to our advantage. I mean, it's like you get lemons, how do you make lemonade out of it? So how do you make lemonade out of this and make it an opportunity? So I challenge you to not, because I've seen a lot of comments about, oh, this is just like a tic tac, you giving a tic tac to a whale, or it's just a small segment of a small benefit that doesn't even scratch the surface. We got to start somewhere, you all. So it's all about mindset and how we look at it and how we approach it. But that's neither here nor there. So let's just do a quick recap. In the first two videos, some of the things that were covered. As we all know, this is a $1.7 trillion crisis. And like I said, you've heard me say that many times before. The student loan debt is a student loan. It is a crisis, and it impacts at least 43 million families. 43 million. That's a lot of people. So to take advantage, to stay in the loop, to know what's going on, you want to make sure you have signed up on the Department of Education subscription page. Go to studentaid.gov, go to that website, and make sure you sign up to get those timely updates. You want to make sure you've initiated contact with your student loan servicer so that you can understand the dynamics of your loan. The first video we talked about really in detail what you should do, how to go about doing that, the websites and all those pieces. You want to make sure that is done because you need to know what type of loans you have. This process is not straightforward. It never has been, which is why some major overhauling needs to take place. So it's designed again for you to fail. It's very confusing and convoluted. So you're going to have to do some digging and some research, and do the ground, do those fundamental steps to find out all the details about your loan so that you are clear and you understand what you qualify for based on what you have, and based on those particular elements, what steps do you need to take to move forward. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. Make sure you get busy. Take action today. All right. We know that the forgiveness parameters right now is laid out to benefit individuals who make less than $125,000 a year, and that is adjusted gross income. I talked about that in the previous video, and married couples less than $250,000 a year. So you want to, of course, go pull your taxes, look at your taxes. If you haven't done your 2020, 2021 taxes, you want to make sure you get those done sooner than later. You need to pull your financial aid transcript because, again, you need to understand everything relating to all aid received for your college matriculation, during your college matriculation. So, again, logging into the FSA, using your FSA ID and logging in to the studentaid.gov website, talking to your loan servicer and understanding all those pieces, understanding whether or not you had a Pell Grant, how much, and all those different pieces. And then, of course, you want to monitor your emails after you do all those pieces. Always check your spam in case some of those emails land in your spam box. Try to whitelist those email addresses as best as possible. But again, you don't want to miss anything. So you want to make this a habit where you're constantly checking your emails and checking your spam box as well to ensure you're not missing anything. And then you want to mark these key milestone dates on your calendar. And I'll talk more about what some of those key dates are. But one date in particular you want to make sure you understand is this. The last day to submit for forgiveness is December 31st of 2023. So you may be thinking, oh, that's next year and I got time. And time is moving and it's not waiting on anybody. Also, life happens. So you don't want to miss the deadline. Don't delay. I talk about that a lot on the planning side because everything about the college admissions process is based on timing. So you want to make sure you don't miss these timelines that's been defined for the student loan forgiveness process, because there are some key milestone dates and deadlines you must be ready to meet. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on the opportunity. And this is not an opportunity you want to miss out on. All right. So don't delay. Again, I can't stress that enough. Now, when we look at the student loan forgiveness, um, I'm gonna call it opportunity. You know, some some borrowers student loans will be forgiven automatically. They're estimating about 8 million borrowers. You heard me say 43 million in total. Is basically is the number that's impacted. About 8 million of those borrowers, their student loans will be forgiven automatically. But that means there's a majority of the people will not see an automatic forgiven not see their loans automatically forgiven. So that means you will have to verify your income. You're going to have to submit the application via the portal they plan to release in October. Now, understand that uh, the application and the information you need to submit, it must be done by November 15th if you want to have your loans forgiven in this calendar year by December 31st, 2022. If you wait until after November 15th, you're not going to see your student loans forgiven this year, which means when the student loan payments start again January 1, 2023, you are going to have to start making payments again because the a moratorium on student loan payments, it ends December 31st of this year. So again, you do not want to miss these key deadlines. November 15th, you want to have your stuff in no later than that date. So make sure that is a date that is marked on your calendar. Put some reminders in place. Just don't miss it. Now, in previous videos, I did not talk about the income driven repayment plans. And that is one of the other changes they launched under this with this announcement. And so that is going to benefit those who currently were on IDR plans, and it's going to benefit those getting loans going forward. Now, some things have been defined in terms of changes, but there's still yet many other elements they still have to define. But some of the key changes they've made so far that really is beneficial, because if you didn't know, interest on student loans basically there is calculated and it accrues daily, which is the pace and the rate of how the loans grow and the interest that accumulates. It was designed to make it that much more difficult for you to pay it off, which is why people paying on it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years barely saw movement in their loan balances compared to other things like your house, your mortgage, your car loan. So again, it was not designed for you to win, but I'm not, let me get back and stay focused on what I'm supposed to be talking about. So some of the major changes with the IDR programs that's major. Um, One is how they define your discretionary income, and which basically determines what your monthly payments will be. So they decreased it from 10 to 15% to paying between 5 to 10%. And so there are different constraints that determines whether you're at 5% or whether you're at 10%. But that's a huge difference. That's going to make a major impact on what families can afford when it comes to repaying their student loans. The other part of that equation is how they define the poverty line, because the poverty line definition was part of the formula that dictated what your monthly payment would be. So the poverty line has now been increased from 150% to 225%. So that within itself is going to substantially decrease a person's monthly payment. So that means the new formula is the new IDR plan discretionary income is defined by whatever your adjusted gross income, your AGI, which you can find that on your taxes. Just look for your AGI line, minus 225% times what the poverty line is for the United States. That is how the new payment will be defined. So that right within itself is going to make a world of difference for families on the IDR plan. They also changed the amount of time in which you'll make payments before forgiveness would excuse me, before you will qualify for forgiveness. Let me get some water. So that time frame now has been decreased from 20 to 25 years to now between either 10 to 20 years. So it depending on your loan, how much it is, it would dictate whether you get forgiveness at 10 years versus the 20-year mark. So either way, it allows you to see the light at the end of the tunnel versus you paying into perpetuity and not really seeing any real results and not seeing any progression or movement in in decreasing what that overall balance is. So ultimately, when you think about it under the current IDR plans, borrowers, they basically have faced detrimental negative amortization on their loans, which is why we didn't see movement in our balances. And so and basically for those who don't understand, that happens when the accrued loan interest grows larger than the borrower's required payment each month, which results in increasing loan balances even when the borrower makes the required payment. Then think about it again. What do you pay that really does that? Your car loan, when that loan's going to be paid off, your mortgage, etc. Student loans, again, was a whole different animal. So with the new plan, they have this interest subsidy in place that's going to now basically I guess in essence, kind of eradicate that. So it will preclude any risk of negative amortization and interest capitalization, which is also going to benefit families going forward on the IDR plan. So again, there are still elements to be defined for the IDR program going forward, like who's going to be eligible, what loans would be eligible, the rate of interest accrual, and all those different things. So stay tuned. And this is why you definitely need to sign up to receive announcements. So update your communication preferences on the Department of Education website so that you are in the loop. Make sure you're following the social media accounts associated with FSA, Department of Ed, all of those federal organizations that deals with student loan financial aid, so you are in the loop. All right. So the next thing I would like to talk about is for those of you who have financial advisors, I highly recommend you schedule a meeting and sit down with them to talk about what you need to do. Don't go at this alone. That's the point of having a financial advisor, to give you that financial wisdom and insight on what to do. So, of course, financial advisors, this is something you want to initiate if your clients haven't initiated. Find out which clients have student loans. Well, you should already know that, and reach out to them and help them navigate this. Because again, this process is not as straightforward as it should be, and it can be confusing to many. But get together, audit what your student loan entails, the type of loan, all the details. That's why I said pull your financial aid transcript so you can understand from the time your loan was first initiated what has happened over the years. Make sure you are clear about every aspect concerning your student loan. Then you need to determine what that plan is going to be, because if you haven't already mapped out a plan on paying it off, now is the time to talk about, okay, how do you tackle it with the new release of the loan forgiveness program and the forecasted changes. How does that impact your financial strategy going forward? How do you get to the place of a zero balance for your loan, whether it's going to be the public service loan forgiveness program or it's going to be utilizing the new IDR plan if you don't fully have your balance, if your balance is not fully paid in full with the current forgiveness threshold that's put in place, the 10 and the 20,000. So start thinking about what that's going to look like and taking the necessary steps to make it happen. You got to remain committed to it as well. So that'll be the next thing is, hey, determine your next steps. What is their repayment path going to look like? Hey, do you have a refund that's going to come back based on payments that's been made during the moratorium? How do you go about getting the refund? Or hey, how do you move forward based on the information you found out? You know, what options do you qualify for? The whole goal is to look at every option and see how to maximize this opportunity and take advantage of it to the greatest effect. All right. The goal is to win in the end. How do you use this to your advantage? Now, before before we close out, well, I got to talk about one other part, but I want to make sure you have again these key dates, these key milestone dates on your radar. Put them on your calendar. So again, everything right now is all about awareness. Um, yeah, everything right now is all about awareness about the new forgiveness program. October 31st, 2022 is when the public service loan forgiveness waiver expires. So if you're not familiar with that, um, the uh, the current administration had put some waivers in place that basically superseded all the barriers um, that were in place, preventing people from actually getting loan forgiveness under the initial intent of the public service loan forgiveness program for those who served in the public service sector. So make sure you take advantage of the waiver by getting your application in for public service loan forgiveness by October 31st, because this allows you to get credit for things you couldn't get credit for before, and many people have been able to successfully get their loans forgiven under this program. This is going to be very beneficial for those who will not get their total balance to zero under the $10,000 or $20,000 threshold. So this is a way to combine two programs if you qualify for public service loan forgiveness at the same time. So remember, the waiver expires October 31st. So make sure you get your application in and you go through the steps you need to do that. So I know, like, one of the things I had to do, I had been paying on my loan all this time only to find out, oh, your loans don't, the type of loans you have, which is crazy because I got federal loans through the school, the regular process, and it didn't qualify for student loan forgiveness. I had to consolidate, which my loans were already consolidated. I told you this process is confusing. I had to consolidate again early this year into a qualified consolidated loan in order to submit an application to for public service loan forgiveness. Crazy. But many people, like myself, have been paying Navient all these years, not knowing my loan didn't even qualify. So with the waiver, I'm taking advantage of that opportunity to see how much of that I can take advantage of. So that is another reason why you got to get busy and take action now, because going through that process, you may have to resubmit some things. Like I got an email, I got to resubmit some stuff. They saying one of my somebody didn't sign something. I don't know, but it's something I expect when working with the government. It's not going to always go through the way you want it the first time you submit it. All right. So this is going to end up being my third submission. So get busy, take advantage. So October 31st. Now, also remember in October, that is somewhere in October is when they plan to open the portal for you to start submitting your application and whatever those the requested deeds they're going to be looking for. All right. So after that, this is going to be the time when the Department of Education will start reviewing all borrowers on IDR plans and update payment counts per the IDR waiver. So that's going to happen this fall. November 15th is going to be the date by which borrowers are advised to apply for their $10,000 or $20,000 forgiveness so their application is processed before payments resume in 2023. So you heard me give this date early. If you want your loans forgiven in 2022, you must submit your information by November 15th. December 31st, 2022 is when the payment/interest freeze expires, meaning January 31st, 2023, my birthday. All borrowers should have made their first required student loan payment since March 2020. So, again, take action, get ready. Make sure you don't miss these key dates. Now, July 2023, right now, is the earliest date that borrowers on IDR plans will need to begin recertifying their income annually based on the recertification deadline on their loan statement. So you got to make sure you look at all the detail. The devil is in the details. And then July 1st, 2023 is when the new income-driven repayment IDR plan goes into effect. So that means they'll have who's eligible and all those other details defined by then, but it goes into effect July 1st of next year. And then December 31st of next year is going to be the ultimate deadline to apply for the $10,000 or $20,000 forgiveness that Biden announced about a month ago. So make sure you are, again, on top of these deadlines, these dates, because once they come and go, if you hadn't taken advantage of it, shame on you. We're getting the word out, and it's up to you to put it into action. So the last thing I want to cover before we leave, because some people probably are not listening. Now, when the student loan forgiveness announcement was made, and if you looked at the what you need to know frequently asked questions informational sheet published by the Department of Ed, it talked about how taxes will not be charged on loans forgiven. Now, that is only talking about federal taxes, because we pay taxes federal and we pay state. So that is only dealing with federal taxes, and that is because of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. So most student debt discharged through 2025, again, most, it didn't say all, most student debt discharged through 2025, including debt forgiven by this current proposal, will be tax-free. But that is only pertaining to federal taxes. Why am I stressing this and why am I talking about this? Because earlier this week, California is the first state to announce they will treat the amount forgiven as taxable income. So you may not have to pay federal tax, but you will have to pay state tax on the amount forgiven, because it is going to be viewed as taxable income on your taxes if you live in the state of California. So you better get with your tax accountant and start planning and seeing how you can offset that tax hit. Now, not only is California the first one to affirm they'll do that, but there are 6 other states estimated to follow suit as of now. That doesn't mean there's not going to be more to follow. So if you are in the following states, you need to be aware and you need to be prepared for this tax hit on your income taxes. So the states are North Carolina, Wisconsin, Indiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Arkansas. So again, If you live in California, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Indiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, or Arkansas, you need to prepare yourselves to pay taxes, state taxes, on whatever your student loan forgiveness amount is. I know it sucks, but hey, at least if you know now, this is time for you to start preparing, talking to a tax accountant, and seeing how you could potentially mitigate that impact. The New York is the only one I think that I know of who have assured their residents that they will not tax their forgiveness. So kudos to New York for taking that stand. Well, I hope you have found this helpful. Again, type in the chat if this was helpful to you. If you're listening to it on the replay, type replay. Give us your feedback, give us your comments. Take the information, take action today. Don't delay. All right. So it's been great sharing with you. I look forward to talking to you in our next edition. But until then, remember, the time to be ready is not the time to get ready. Look at how you can stay ready so that you can be in position to take advantage of opportunities as they come without delay. So, this is your favorite College for Free coach, the College Prep Boss, dropping more nuggets on you so that you can send your kids to college for free and crush college debt at the same time. Until next time, hey, stay safe, share this video, and I'll see you next time.